in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Voila, hippies, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hippies and straights around the world, and thank you, Winstone, for the kind introduction. The pearls and panties of the mid-screen press and the progressive blogosphere have been twisted into absolute knots recently over the news that President LowBar authorized the NSA to surveil user electronic communications, which he did, in reauthorizing a policy that had been in place since about 2005. I recall there was some other guy president then. We called him the Chimperer. The metastasization of security state has been a steady and inevitable fact for more than a decade now. In Woody's always humble opinion, the effect, finally, of the terror acts of 9/11 has been to legitimize the official viewpoint that every citizen, every person, no matter who you are, is always a suspect of something. President LowBar is no more guilty of encouraging or acting upon this epistemic tendency than has been any other president or occupant of the office since the middle of the 19th century about. Now, I'm no defender of President LowBar, you all know that. But all he's doing is showing us that he's really no different than anyone else in that position. He's doing what he's told. The only difference I see is kind of chromatic. It only bothers you when there's a black guy fronting for the mob. Is that the problem? Modern states like the U.S., Russia, Europe, and all, they had institutional, internal national security agency, intelligence, and surveillance bureaus from the 1880s onward. It was necessitated by the discovery of the masses by sociologists like Durkheim and Weber. The mass of people, qua undifferentiated social factota, was the unexpected and kind of potentially really rogue side effect of the Industrial Revolution. The masses weren't like peasants or the vassals. There were more of them, and they were more concentrated. The sociologists and their paymasters, along with the rest of the social scientists, recognized immediately that the threat that the masses posed to established authority was significant, and so everybody immediately dropped everything and went right to work on figuring out ways to regulate the masses without their appearing to do so. This has been the constant telos of the human sciences for about 200 years, and Foucault called it the carceral state. In the US of A, we do it with media. The whole vast panoply of human ideation, imagination, and creativity are condensed into 6 corporate boardrooms. We welcome our jailers gladly, and nightly we're happy to see O'Reilly and or Stewart every night just before we retire. Makes us feel secure. But these folks have taken it only just as far as they were technically able to do so, and that's true of every regime since the Civil War. And that's one of the reasons why people, of course, talk about this technology kind of skeptically, you know, because it always contains the seeds of its own or our frustration and destruction. Whoever expected that the state would not take all available measures to protect itself, even from within? That's just naive. The state functions within a discourse that is mostly immune to human personal appeal anyway. Each of us is only and just 1/307 millionth of the state's problems. You don't have to worry much about what people think if you can pretty well regulate what they think about and the frames they use. Look, Benghazi. And a tornado! Back to you in Hippie Central, Winstone.